Amidst the mighty redwoods of the glorious Pacific Northwest lies a rugged, yet scenic and challenging racetrack called The Ridge. Hi, I'm Jay Lamb, and this is Nick Pond. And we're just back from that place where they've had a very interesting development.
Yes, they now have permanent bathrooms, which was only a 5-year development.
Yeah.
And we actually weren't sure that they were going to be ready when we came up, and we talked to the track, and they said, oh yeah, no problem, we got them going. In fact, we had a soft opening last weekend. And I'm thinking, a soft opening is like what you have for your wine bar, where you only have a partial menu.
You invite your friends, they're not very critical.
For a bathroom, it's pretty binary. Either the doo-doo goes away, or it stays.
Actually, I don't know that it is binary, as the customer reviews might have shown.
So I took a pee in an actual bathroom.
Brilliant.
But there was literally one square of toilet paper left and no ass gaskets.
And then there was this thing that it was doing.
Hey, good news, people. We've reached the big time. Red Bull sent out their music truck. It was so extreme.
Okay, just kind of an honorable mention. I guess it sadly fits into the but terrible realm. But Grateful Racing has been coming to LeMons for some time. They have a Mazda RX-7. The transmission blew up, and then they were sitting around there. No, we're not giving up. We're gonna be back. We're fixing it. Parts on the way. And then they did fix it. It ran for 2 seconds and then broke.
She broke. Oh man.
They could have gotten I got screwed, but they didn't. But just hey, nice effort, I guess.
In fact, there were a lot of cars that did not get trophies at this race, but they were just spectacular cars. I mean, it was really a good field.
Yeah, and a good portion of those teams were either young people or first-time Lemons racers or both, and they all came with great stuff and had a great attitude, like this team, Audi, under the moniker Group B-. They had some issues with their cage, they had to do some welding, never got frustrated, they fixed what they needed to fix, went out there and had a great time. That's how you do Lemons.
We got a bunch of new penalties. We did the micro car commercial, and a little background on this. So Mike Harrell is this guy. He ran the Lemons Rally in his old Jeep pickup truck. In the back of it was this horrible little micro car, cycle car from the 70s that he brought to the Lemons Concours, and then on the way back from that, he was one of the judges at the 24 Hours of Lemons. So one of the penalties that we did, this horrible team came in, they had to make a commercial for the worst car ever made.
Whoa, is that a micro car? Sure is. You know anything about this thing?
Yeah, it's got a full welded steel frame on it. It's got 3 spoke rims, drum brakes in the front, one in the rear. Even got a parking brake. Large 2-gallon gas tank, 3 mirrors, and you only need 2. And you guys, look at this. Whoa, got a huge trunk.
There's junk in that trunk.
Okay, so while we were out there filming the commercial, we had another penalty to have this team with the Firebird reenact the Cars in Coffee departing phenomenon that has struck the internet, which is where somebody in a muscle car, granted usually a Mustang, tries to show off leaving Cars and Coffee, and this is what usually happens.
Cars and Coffee 2016, woo! Come on, baby,
Oh my God! I thought he could drive.
I got it on camera.
And the Rambler made it to this race. It's getting there. They spent 17 hours working on the throttle cable, which Corey Dickman now assures us that is the very last component that this car is going to need. It's now perfect.
Yeah. I Got Screwed went to a new team, young kids, new blood, what we like to see. They were Canadians. Their team name was Maple Bacon. They figured, let's buy something simple, Chevy Caprice. Let's forget the whole trailer thing and buy a ramp truck, GMC ramp truck. Drive it down from Canada, have a totally contained, simple, durable system.
How can that not go wrong?
It fell apart immediately.
Of course it did.
Half of their team didn't show up. The guy said, our car broke down at the border. We have to turn around. And the other teammates said, their car is brand new. I don't know if I believe that. Oh, well. And they had every problem under the sun. The car wouldn't run, and then they immediately embarked on the universal method of showing the world that you have no idea how to work on a car by addressing a running problem by replacing the coil, which never works.
So while those guys were getting the I Got Screwed trophy, they were being helped by the guys who got the Heroic Fix trophy. And they got it partly for fixing these other poor bastards Chevrolet, and partly because their own car, the awesome Mustang II Vitamin R powered Rainier Ale car of low road racing, they blew up their fuel neck. And the only way that they could get another fuel neck in that car was to totally disable the truck with which they all drove to the track. Thus, they probably still live there. But that was awesome.
So the special regional award for this race, this being the Pacific Northwest and all,
hence, vest in it,
went to the Galactic Snog Machine, and they were awarded the Just Wandered Onto the Track After Dropping Off My Child at Montessori While Listening to NPR award. And they had a forest green stone stock Subaru Legacy wagon that
automatic
that looked like it just drove in after dropping a kid off at Montessori, and then, hey, I guess I'm in a car race now.
So the judge's choice was the Fail Bird. This was a basically bone stock, automatic, 2.8 liter V6. I haven't even seen a 2.8 liter V6 in years. Firebird. As an 84 or something like that. There's a bunch of kids and their dad. None of them had the slightest idea what they were doing, but they tried really hard. They put a little tiny Superbird wing on the back because, why don't you? And they had all kinds of trouble. But my favorite bit of their trouble, they went out onto the hot pit at one point. They were trying to fuel. Somehow, one of the kids turned off the ignition, and they lost the key. So now the car is in park, steering is locked. They are on the hot pit while people are fueling all around them. I can't get the car to start. Where is the car? They wound up having to take out the seat on the hot pit trying to find the key. Never found the key. We had to dolly it up and tow it off of the track.
At which point they got towed backwards off of the hot pit, and then the steering was locked, so the car was kind of crabbing, and it backed straight into the front of the tow truck. Clang!
And ultimately, so the key turns out to be, inexplicably, in the sock of one of the kids. We don't know how that happened, but they did get that.
So I wandered by, they were having some mechanical trouble, and I wandered by their paddock spot and said, hey guys, what's going on? And here is what ensued. So, what's the story?
Well, the engine was knocking, so we just put in thicker oil.
So anyway, judge's choice.
And the organizer's choice went to the second team car of low road racing, in addition to their Heroic Fix winning Mustang II. They had a 1976 Pontiac Sunbird that they turned into a honest-to-goodness mini NASCAR.
It's a three-quarter replica.
So awesome. Just this little bitty 76 NASCAR. And it looked incredible. And it was done up in the livery of Tim Richmond, who is known for partying real hard and then honking out at a young age. And they rolled up into BS, and they provided a bribe to the judges of non-alcoholic beer. Normally, this would get you in a situation where your terrible bribe is poured all over the exhaust headers of your engine. You have to smell it burning for the rest of the race weekend. But because the car was an old Milwaukee livery, they said, hey, let's go down to the store and get some old Milwaukee. What they didn't know, they don't sell old Milwaukee in Washington State, and so they had to go on some demented, bizarro world reverse Smokey and the Bandit run.
8 hours.
8 hours into Oregon to get old Milwaukee, and they pull into the first place that they see. Oh, yeah, they've got old Milwaukee, but it's the non-alcoholic kind. And they figured, if we go any farther, we're going to kill ourselves, so we're going to bring this, and those guys are just going to have to deal with it. And deal with it we did.
And that just takes us to the IOE, which went to Arloe Racing, which is actually a spinoff of Team Thunder Chicken.
Bucketed chicken artery.
So
Thunderbird.
Arloe Racing, they brought a 1963 Avanti with a legitimate Studebaker V8 in it.
How do you get that for $500?
That is a classic. This is a travesty. How can you do that to a vintage automobile of historical significance?
So that is what happened when we posted a picture of this car on the internet.
Of course, and many other things.
And you might think from these comments that this car was like a Ferrari 250 GTO. One of 22 made, worth $10 million. But let me tell you, there is a dude by me who owns 5 Avantis, 3 of which parked on the street, Been like that forever. Nobody messes with them. Nobody steals them.
Yeah.
It's the middle of Oakland. No problem. Because nobody wants them.
Yeah, so really, at the end of the day, okay, maybe that was not a $500 car, but you know what? That is the Avanti loophole. You bring a Studebaker V8 powered Avanti, you can have an IOE too. Knock yourselves out. Here's Lemons in a nutshell.
Oh. Oh no. Oh. Oh God. Ah.
So good.
Oh. Whoa. No, explain the RV, just the setup of the RV, yeah.
So you listen to your old man and you don't buy an RV with a rubber roof when it should have a fiberglass roof, and you don't buy an RV with a tag axle, which is an extra axle on the back with a single wheel, which you have to raise up and down.
Okay.
So close, but yet so far away.